Welcome back to my channel first of all. And tonight's story is not any usual crime story because at first it sounds like a crime sadly we have heard too many times. A young girl disappears during a festival night. The next morning her body is found buried with injuries and clothes disturbed. A grieving mother shaking, crying and claiming that her daughter was abducted, violated and murdered. At this point of time, the village got furious. People started gathering around the house, and everyone begins to ask the same question that this country have been asking for several years. Who did this to a child? But it wasn't what it seemed. What if I tell you the real horror wasn't someone stranger? It was someone inside the house. And what if I tell you that the one who cried first for the justice was the one who buried the truth? So stay with me because this case from Jharkhand is the most disturbing case that you will hear. So this story comes from a small village in Hazaribagh district, Jharkhand. It was the night of March 24th during Ashtami, the 8th day of major Hindu festival Navratri. That night was a perfect chaos for hiding any crime. The village was occupied with lights, drums, devotional chants, and the crowd was moving across the street. This girl was 12 years old, and she was seen celebrating this local gathering. Later on, she vanished. At first, her mother filed a case suggesting that her daughter was abducted and raped. This case exploded. Public outrage, political outrage, and even High Court took interest in this case after the media portrayed this case as an case. And honestly, if you were a local, you would also have believed the same story because why would anyone doubt a grieving mother? And from here, the case becomes even more disturbing. The mother did not just report the disappearance, but she actively tried to prove this as a rape case. And later on, investigators found that after the girl was killed, the accused used an wooden stick with that child's dead body to make it look like a sexual assault. And let me tell you, this was done after the girl was murdered. Yes, it was not done because it was a rape, but it was done to make it look like one, to shift the suspicion from a real crime, to create a public outrage against an unknown stranger. Imagine the extent of calculation over here. And you know what? For a while, it worked. The village believed it. The investigation took place in the same direction, but soon the forensic report and the post-mortem revealed a totally different story, and it did not match the statement given by the mother. When the truth came out, it was more horrifying than the lie. This case was about human ritual sacrifice. According to the police, the mother had been visiting a tantrik, an occult practitioner, for the treatment of her own son. Her son was suffering from a mental and physical alignment. Instead of turning to a hospital, to a doctor, she turned to superstition, and this tantrik convinced her that the boy was under the influence of evil spirit, and the only way to protect him was by sacrificing an virgin girl. That girl was her own daughter. Can you imagine the mindset of these people? They are so blinded by this kind of belief system that it overpowers every instinct of care and protection. A mother choosing a child to save another child. According to the police, the murder happened at the house of Tantrik Shanti Devi. A plastic sheet was spread on the ground. The child was made to lie down, and then the ritual happened. And the mother was not only present, she was also involved. Report says when the child was being attacked, the mother held her legs down. Yes, just imagine a child looking at her own mother who was supposed to save her, protect her, but instead she was restraining her own daughter. And at the same time, a man named Bhim Ram, the mother's lover, he strangled the girl to death. And this was not instant. Strangulation is slow, it takes time. It means this whole time, that girl child, while struggling, she knew who was killing her. And now it gets even more darker. Now the tantrik used that wooden stick to make it look like a sexual assault. You can understand what I'm saying because I cannot go into details. You can Google it if you want. And after that, Bhimram smashed the girl's head with a stone because they needed blood of that girl for the ritual. This was not just a murder, it was a ritualized brutality. 3 people were arrested: the mother, the tantrik, and mother's lover, Bhimram. These details are important because this was not just one person acting in panic. this required proper planning, coordination, and emotional detachment. The report says that the mother and her lover had been in a relationship for nearly 10 years. Her husband worked in Maharashtra and he rarely visited. So this case was not just about a superstition, but it was also about a conspiracy. So now let's talk about the son, because he was the center of this ritual. Police says he suffered from mental and physical sickness. Also, there was some kind of family distress. That is why the mother was desperate. And desperation is where the blind ritual thrives. When people are scared, when medicine feels slow, people sometimes become vulnerable to those who promise miracle. And this is where the tantrik entered. Instead of science, she was given superstition. Instead of treatment, she was sold sacrifice. And one child had to die so the other child could be cured. This is about the society where people still believe that suffering is a spiritual punishment rather than medical condition. So what do we call this? A murder, a sacrifice, a failure of motherhood, a failure of society, or the dangerous collision between superstition and patriarchy. This case forces us to confront the ugly truth that still exists. Even today, the rituals can kill, and a daughter can be made to pay the price. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the story, please like and subscribe my channel, and I will come with the next story very soon.